All right, Alec, I have your math module program. So let's take a look, see what you got here. Okay, here's your template. So it says create a word problem, involves calculating the volume and surface area of a three-dimensional object. So you could pick a cube, sphere, cylinder, cone, and here's the calculations you would use depending on which one of those you picked. So print a description of the word problem. You get to create the word problem. Ask the user to enter the necessary information. Okay, so we're going to have an input statement. If you need to use pi, because cube does not use pi, but all these use pi, so you just use 3.14, and then print the results and write the pseudocode. So pseudocode missing. That's the first thing we see right there is you didn't write pseudocode, so you lost the points for that. Here's your math module program right here. So let's copy that. And then let's see, purpose program, forgot someone help know how to find the area and sum of the cube object, three-dimensional shape. And then, see, it can help someone if they need to know what to do and find the right answer to three-dimensional shape. Random problems, not knowing how to code the power and number and square root. And well, good thing you had the lesson because you can go back in the lesson and it shows you perfect examples of how the power and square root functions work. So, your random problems, that hopefully you got that fixed. We'll look when we run the program here. Did I memorize how to use the codes in the right shape? Okay, well, let's paste this into a programming window and take a look at your program. All right, run program. Error on line 3. Well, the first thing we have is hashtag math module, and then your define main. I don't know what all this is. And define main shouldn't have a space in front of it. But define main is just define main parentheses quote. I don't know. You had in there, was the area and square root of a cube? Was that supposed to be a print statement or was that supposed to be a comment at the beginning maybe? Comment. What is the area and square root of a cube? I don't know. But your define main is just supposed to be that. And if you were trying to use the power and square root, it tells you in our lesson, you have to do from math import asterisk. So it knows, oh, I need to go get that power and square root function, know how to use it. So if you're having trouble with that, that may be why, because you didn't import the math functions. So go back and look at those sample programs in the lesson. It shows samples exactly on how to use these things that we do in the programs here. All right, so you've got number equal to, and you set it equal to literally these words because you put it in quotes. So num equals x to the power of half. Space x, space to, space the. It's exactly what num equals. And exp equals space x, space to the power of 3/2, all of that. Okay, so then now you said p, so you named a variable p. I don't know if that stands for power or what. And you're taking the power of x to the number of half, x to the power of half, which is not a number. So I don't know how power is going to be expected to calculate something. And you're raising it to the power of 3/2. I'm not even sure what shape you're doing here yet. And then s equals square root of a number. But number is not a number. Num is these letters right here. All these letters that you put in quotes. So that's what you're trying to take the square root of. So that may be why you was also having trouble making square root work. Because how do you take the square root of a word called power? How do you take a square root of space x, space to, space the, space power, space of, space half? What is the square root of that? Print. Oh, there's a. I'm guessing that's supposed to be a print statement. It's print. Print. You said treat it like a string. Well, you didn't have to because it's already a string. It's right there. Plus x. What's x? You didn't define x. If that's a variable, you define num, you define exp, you define p, you define s. You didn't define anything called x, so that would give you an error. Equals to the power, x to the power of half. So there's no calculations because you're not putting numbers. Print, there you go. there you go on how to find the area of a sum of a cube. Oh, so we're doing a cube. Okay, so let's look at the calculations we should have been doing. Cube, the side length cubed is the volume, and 6 times the side length squared is the surface area. Okay, so the surface area. And then is this supposed to be your closing main statement? Your closing main statement goes over here, and this does not go in there. It's just main. That's how you end the main statement. You just put main at the end. Maybe you was trying to do another print statement. Print. Oh, get my fingers on the right keys. Print. Maybe that's what you were trying to end. That'd be another print statement. If you have any further questions, just ask. Thank you. But we're missing a lot here. First thing, we didn't ask the user to enter the side length. That'd be one of the first things we need then. Side equals float, because it might be a half or something. Input. Enter the length of one side of your cube. So when you run that, oh, bad. Yeah, still more errors. It's not going to run. So I don't know what x to the power. I don't know what num's supposed to be. Exponent, we'll deal with exponents when we get there. So we'll get rid of both of those lines. And so if we're going to calculate the volume, which is the side length cubed, so let's just call this volume and take the power of, let's get rid of all of that, side, and cube it. Take whatever number this person enters, and we'll take the power of that number to the third power. And then surface area. Surf area. How about that? We'll call it surf area. The surf area is not the square root of anything. It's 6 times the side squared. So it's 6 times the side squared. So we need to square this out. Side. So side squared. Instead of side to the third power, we'll take it to the second power. Then print. I don't know what this is. Something plus x equal to the power x. Let's get rid of that because it means nothing. The volume of the cube is plus string volume, whatever we just calculated for volume, plus space. And the surface area is plus string surf. Oh, I misspelled surf area the first time. And all the angles added together equal what? Surf area. Close my print statement. So let's see if that runs. Line 10 has a problem. Volume equals power side to the maybe I don't think these spaces are causing a problem. I do have the from the math import. Oh, I got an error there because I didn't close the parentheses here. See, I have 2 opening parentheses, one closing. So it was still continuing on thinking this was part of this up here. So that's what's giving me the error there. 2 opening parentheses, I got to have 2 closing parentheses. Run the program. Oh, now it's got on 16, which is the end, the main. Let's see, was there an error in this print statement? Oh, there's an error here. The parentheses is, you kind of think that had things out of order there. Put the period inside, put the parentheses outside. Enter the length of one side of your cube. Let's say it's 10. The volume of the cube is 1,000, which is 10 times 10 times 10. And the surface area is 6 times 10 times 10. There you go on how to find the area sum of a cube. It's actually surface area of a cube. If you have any further questions, just ask. Thank you. So there you go. That's all it needed. You had a whole lot of stuff in there that didn't make any sense You weren't doing any calculations of any, because you weren't using any numbers anywhere. You were using letters and words as calculations. I mean, looking back at your template there, I mean, I don't know how you take the square root of x to the power of half. Those are words, not a number. I don't know how you take x to the power of half, which is not a number, it's words, and try to raise that to the 3/2 power. That's I don't know how to do that. I can do numbers. I can raise numbers to the 3/2 power. I can't raise words to the 3/2 power. And this, I don't know what in the world this was supposed to be printing either. But yeah, this is where the parentheses was in the wrong place. There's lots of errors there. It didn't run. I can't imagine you ran this. It had to have had errors when you turned it in, because there's no way if you pasted this in. You didn't have your name and all that at the top of your name and date that you're supposed to have. You always have your name and date at the top of the program. You have math module, but you don't have name and date. Missing quite a few things. Lots of problems with this. So if you're struggling with these programs, you're going to get some help. You need to copy and paste it and say, hey, Ms. Bruck, I can't get this line to work or something to work. Go through those. I mean, you weren't even using the correct formulas that were given to you at the top. If it's a cube, I don't know what you were taking the square root of. There's none of the calculations use the square root unless you were doing what was the one at the bottom? The cone. The cone uses a square root, but none of the other shapes even use the square root. So I don't know. You seemed like you were just kind of doing your own thing a lot and not following what the program was supposed to have. So yeah, when you get stuck with these things, don't just turn in this piece of junk. Get some help. Figure out, what am I missing? What do I need to do? So that way we can get a lot better scores on these. But glad you got it turned in at the very least. But more attention to detail there. You got a lot of just kind of random ramblings in your code there that wasn't going to work. So, all right, I'll get this feedback to you. We'll see you in class.